Hello and welcome to episode number 4 from the World of Presentations podcast with 356 Labs and me, your host, Boris. This one is a very special one because it comes out on the same date when we are announcing our second online course. Yes, you heard that right, our second online course. If you didn't know that we already have an online course, it is called Planning a Presentation Like a Pro. And you can find it at academy.356labs.com. It teaches you the steps that you can follow to prepare a presentation that truly differentiates. Most of the people out there skip this phase and do not plan their presentations properly, and the end result is a failure, when it could have been a success. A success that could potentially change their life or career or both. Anyway, that's the Planning a Presentation Like a Pro course. Go check it out if you care about the success of your presentations, because what you are actually going to learn in this course are the steps that we use and follow when we are preparing a presentation for our own clients. Now, back to episode number 4 and our new online course, PowerPoint Tips and Tricks. In the last few years, we delivered hundreds and hundreds of presentation trainings for companies big and small from any industry that you can imagine. One of those courses is easily our bestseller, and that one is the PowerPoint Tips and Tricks course. Now, why is that? What makes this course so popular? Well, one of the reasons is because so many people out there are using PowerPoint on a daily basis. However, it turns out that they are not using the full potential of the tool, and what's even worse, they spent hours of work on a presentation when they could have spent minutes, and that is painful. The course we deliver for our clients is a hands-on only course. There is no theory, there are no slides. It's me or someone from the team showing a trick, and then the students repeat that trick. However, it is very important to say that the students repeat it on their own and in their own presentations. One of the requirements for this course is that people come with their own presentations, because we want to prove them that these tricks actually work in their files and not just in ours that could have been potentially set up in some crazy way. So that's why, once we stepped back and analyzed all the testimonials, all the feedback that we got in the last few years, we said to ourselves that we need to make sure that as many people know those tricks, because at the end of the day, it will help you and them build better presentations faster. And who doesn't want that? I mean, seriously. That's why I'm so happy to also announce that today we are launching the online course PowerPoint Tips and Tricks. And everyone out there can enroll themselves or the people around them and learn all of those tips and tricks. Important note here: as you are part of our community and you trust us and you spend time with us here on this podcast, you can go to academy.356labs.com, choose any of the courses in the platform, and use the promo code 356podcast, one word, to get 30% discount. And if you want to enroll more than one person, for example, your whole team, ping me personally on boris@356labs.com, and I'll make sure you guys get a discount that is way, way better than those 30%. Now, what tricks are we talking about in here? Enough spam, right? At the end of the day, that's the idea of the podcast, to help you all become better presenters. So let me share with you some tricks that are even not part of the course. Let's bring some real value now. So you are making your presentation. Imagine this. You're making your presentation and you catch yourself creating a text box, adding text inside, then changing the font. Then, for example, you change the font size, and then maybe even you change the font color. Then you maybe create 2 or 3 more slides where there are only follows on them, and then on the next slide, you again create a text box and type in some text. At this moment, however, you remember that you have a text box formatted in a specific way 3 slides ago, And now, because you want to keep the presentation and the overall look of the slides consistent, which is exactly what you should be aiming for, you type in the new text and apply all those steps yet again. You change the font, you change the size, you change the color, etc. Okay, cool, but that's once. What if you have tens of text boxes in your presentation, or even hundreds? It could be quite time consuming to constantly repeat those steps, right? So what can you do? Well, one of the options is for you to constantly copy paste the first text box and just replace the text inside, right? Another one is to use Format Painter. There is a third one though, I want you to know about. Create the text box in the way you want it to be in terms of formatting. Right-click on it and take a look that there is a button that's called Set as Default Text Box. Ha! Have you seen that one before? Click on it and you'll be disappointed because nothing seems to change. However, not exactly. Once you click on a text box and then you set it as default text box, add a new text box, a new one, and try to type in it. Look what will happen. The newly created text box will already be formatted in the proper way, and you will not need, I'll repeat this, you won't need to again go and change the font, the size, the color. And that's true for every next text box that you add. Try it out once you are in front of your computer and enjoy. Oh, by the way, forgot to tell you, this trick also works with shapes. So if you add any shape and you format it in the way you want, color, borders, whatever, outlines, whatever, you can right-click on it and say Set as Default Shape. Once you do that, each and every shape you add next will be formatted in the same way. Time savers, people, time savers. Hope you like them as much as I do. So then what happens? You're working on your presentation and you are adding a few photos that you want to have on that slide. However, those photos are not the same size and you want to make them the same size. Quickly. So what can you do? You can select them one by one and start shrinking or expanding them until potentially they get the same size. No. Select them all, go to Picture Tools, and choose the button in the middle of the ribbon, which is the menu, called Picture Layout. Yes, these are smart art layouts, but for those of you who hate smart art, relax for now. Stay with me here. Once you do that, choose one of the layouts that give you equal photo sizes. There are 4 or 5 or even more of those. Once you do that, your photos will become equal in size, but you have a smart art object, which is frankly very hard to work with. That's why you want to right-click on it and go and use the option Group, and from there use Ungroup. And careful here, you have to do that, ready, you have to do that twice. So right-click, go to Group, then Ungroup. And then again, right-click on the newly created object, Group, Ungroup. Now the photos are in the same size, and you will be able to manipulate and move each one of them separately and completely freely. Okay, it's getting better here, right? Imagine what we have in the course. Again, what I'm sharing here is not even part of the course. Back on your presentation now. You are creating a new slide, and you want to have multiple objects that are the same. For example, icons representing a person next to each other, like many icons that represent people. Each one is a separate person, but they're staying next to each other. A lot of people next to each other. Have you seen those? Those type of infographic type of visualizations where you have like 100 icons. Each one is a person representing a person. And somewhere it says 50 of every 100 people drink Red Bull, let's say. And 50 of the icons are colored in the Red Bull's color. Have you seen those? How do you create 100 icons that are also aligned properly, quickly? You can create one, then you can select it, copy paste it, and now you have 2. Then you select the 2 and copy paste those. Now you have 4. Now you select the 4, select all 4, copy paste them, and now you have 8. Is that the way? No, I don't think so. Try this instead. Choose the icon or the shape or the object or the text box. This trick works with everything. Select that one and click, careful here, the control button on your keyboard, and then press and hold control and click D for duplicate. See what will happen, but don't rush with your decision. There is now a copy of your object, right? However, try this. Take this object, the newly created one, and move it to the right, let's say. Put it in the position where you want it to be. Now, without, that's very important, without deselecting it, click Ctrl D again. Watch what happens, and I believe you will thank me later. I expect you will do that in the comments, but let's see. Tip number 4 now. Up until now, we have the default text boxes and shapes. Then we had the equal photo sizes through Smart Art object. And now the Control plus D. What else? You are now ready with your presentation. Imagine that. However, you notice that the presentation is huge in size. Now there are tons of ways to compress your presentation, but I want to step out of PowerPoint for a second to give you a quick tool that will be of great help to you. It's called wecompress.com. Go to this website and completely for free, not even an email required, they will help you compress your PowerPoint, PDF, or any other Office file. These guys actually created the software called NX Powerlite, which is paid. We use that one internally at 356 Labs for our own work. But trust me, you don't need that. WeCompress is the same tool. The difference is that it's free. Now, you say, wait a minute, Boris, how could that be the same, but also free? Well, it's not exactly the same, because WeCompress allows you to upload a maximum of 1 GB file, and NX Powerlite can compress any file. But hey, if your presentation is bigger than 1 GB, ping me and I'll give you another trick, or enroll in the course and you'll see how you can fix this issue too. Okay, one last. You are now on stage, but someone stops you and asks you a question. You remember that you have a slide for that, and it's slide number 15. You're on slide number 3 though. In order for you to go to 15, you have to go through all of the others, but that's not cool, right? Because the audience will see them. It won't be cool to also hit escape, scroll down, find slide number 15, and go to slideshow mode again. So what can you do? Very few people know that once you're in slideshow mode, you can actually hit the number of the slide, 15. You just put 1 and then 5 through your keyboard, and then hit enter, and PowerPoint will go to that slide. Shocker, right? So here you have them, 5 PowerPoint productivity hacks. But wait, I'm in a good mood today. Let's do one more. Here we go. You're working on a presentation. It's Friday evening, because hey, what else can one do on Friday evening? And while you're working on it, you remember that at some point you did something on that slide that you're working on, but you then changed it, and now you want to go back. So what do? You hit undo, 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 or Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. But at some point the undo stops. Have you been there? Let's fix that. Go to File, open any presentation that you have, even a blank one will work. Go to File, click Options, and then go to the Advanced tab. What you will find there is a setting called maximum number of undos. By default, it's 20. And depending, by the way, on the PowerPoint version, depending on the version you're using, you can get up to 150 steps. I highly recommend you not going that route, because if you set it to 150, my question to you is, what are you doing in first place? Where are you going 150 steps back? Our whole team, and don't forget, we do only presentations here, works with 50 steps configured. So go ahead and change it to 50 or 40 or 60, up to you. Just don't go crazy with that setting. The coolest part here, once you set this up, it will be applied automatically to any presentation you open on this machine. No need for you to constantly change it for each presentation. So what do you think? Were those useful? To end this episode number 4, a very special one, at least for us, I want to ask you, which is your favorite PowerPoint trick and why? Let us know in the comments. Now, if you want to learn more than 40 other PowerPoint tips and tricks, use the promo code 356podcast, one word, and go to academy.356labs.com. Enroll in the course and enjoy. And in case you want to help the people around you build better presentations faster, ping me again at boris@356labs.com, and I'll personally make sure you get an offer that's way better than those 30% I just mentioned. Thanks for listening, and if you find that episode useful, go check us out on all the other major social media platforms, links by the way in the show notes, where we share other cool things that will help you become better presenter and speaker. By the way, one last thing. Is there a subject you want us to talk about? Let us know. See you next time.